augmenting your own services and capabilities there, or even getting involved in global deployments. And this is an area where Comstor Westcon really excels. We're able to deploy globally for your clients, not just deploy the kit, but get back the kit, reclaim VAT, reclaim withholding taxes, and other things that make these global deployments problematic. It may surprise you to know that Westcon Comstor has more global points than any other global distributor. And again, when it comes to global deployments, it's a clear leader for us. Today, we're back in the office in many cases. I am, but with certain restrictions, we're not able to fly around the market as easily as we were before. Paul will talk more later, Paul Cunningham, our CMO, about those tools that we bring to help you succeed around Edge. But really, there are significant issues that we have to face during this COVID environment. There's no doubt that COVID has accelerated our digital distribution journey. We talked about the move to large-scale virtual events, the fact that we are doing more of our account management now on a remote basis, but we're starting to come back together as we go. And there's no doubt that our end users have been impacted massively, and they've had to move their business models forward, not always in the most logical manner, but in a hybrid way to cope with the changing demands of the market. And what that's led to is a much faster change cycle. Things are moving much more rapidly with our end users, and they're no longer delivered by IT or the telecoms departments. They are more and more delivered by the line of business. And that really means that for us, with those very, very fast changing needs of the market, we've got to be closer to the end users now than we ever have been before. And this is noticeable, certainly around the UCaaS market. We take that as one example. When people put PBXs in, that was almost a 1-year sales cycle. When UCaaS came along, and master agents came in and said, I can change all that infrastructure out. You can have that as a service and pay $10 a desktop. The average selling cycle for that was just over a month. So if you're not in touch with your end users, guess what? Somebody else will be, and you're going to lose that opportunity. So there are still technology bright spots, and this is a changing map. I mean, we presented this slide probably for the first time maybe 6 months ago, and in those days, hospitality was clearly down. Last night I was out with some colleagues. They're into landscaping and pool design, and they're telling me about the number of refurbs they're doing at the moment around the region to bring those hospitality facilities back online. So, even the most impacted areas are now starting to come back, and it's really important that we do get ourselves out there and get ourselves aligned with those lines of business. Rack, our CTO, will talk to you later about those digital tools that we have and how they can assist you in this move forward, and how we can accelerate your own digital journeys. And of course, we've got Cisco, who will talk about their portfolio. And across the board, they've got part solutions, full solutions, and the ability to work in this hybrid model to accelerate that journey for all of our end users and to address this market opportunity. Pay attention, big part for today. So, these events also allow us to do wonderful things like quizzes. So there is a quiz, there are prizes. We've got a fantastic, Larry is going to come on today, do some mind reading, some magic, phenomenal session. It just breaks it up with this more human touch. And we're also launching an incentive today. So that will be launched towards the end of the event. So please make sure that you stay on board. The subject today is really, why partner with Comstor? I'm going to hand back to Tushar in a moment, but then Tushar's going to introduce Russell Blackburn. I've had the pleasure of working with Russell, for over the last 20 years across different businesses. And he's one of the architects of our central business model around Cisco and Comstor, and how we create scalable tools that we can bring to each market. And we're bringing these tools to Egypt and Libya. Russell will go into much greater detail about what they are, how you can get involved with us, but really looking forward to his session, and indeed all the rest of the speakers today. I'm going to give the stage back. Thank you very much indeed for your attendance today. I know it's going to be a valuable event. I just would welcome your feedback post the event as well. In the meantime, I'm going to hand back to Tushar. Enjoy, and I'll see you all later on. Thank you very much indeed. How is it?
Well, it was perfect, Steve. Really good.
Of course it was. I'm the GM. Of course it was.
You've done this before.
I hate it. Presentations are never pleasant. Video presentations, I just find even harder. I don't know why. It's weird. Maybe because you're not getting a feedback from the audience. So I don't know.
I think people feedback on that a lot. So it must be. It's very challenging because you're just speaking into the vast emptiness, and you're not getting any feedback as you like, as we used
Yeah.
to.
You remind me of a story. When I first got here back in 1999, I went out in front of a bunch of resellers, and I've been in the UK for years and came here, and all of a sudden I was expecting the audience to be full of, you know, gentlemen with white capes and hats, and it wasn't. It was just a whole bunch of, I mean, as I know now, Indian, Pakistani partners out there. I wasn't prepared for that. So I started to present. I knew nothing about the region whatsoever, and started to talk about how, you know, we bring all these great things to the region. It was credit and finance and tech support, and the audience sat there and shook their heads all the way through it. And I came off just feeling dreadful, thinking, you know, I've really messed this up because the audience disagreed with me all the way through the presentation. And I said to the guy, that was awful. You know, all these guys were shaking their heads. I said, no, that was a sign of agreement. The market was saying, this is great. We really like it. So, yeah, feedback from the audience isn't always a great thing. The shake of the head that I thought was a negative was actually an approval. So you'll learn.
Yeah,
There you go.
Small, strange worlds and
That's
customs.
great.
Shah, you happy?
Yes, Steve, very happy. I think you will obviously, you know, we'll share the feedback with you because right now it's not a live event, so you can't see, you know, the comments pouring in. But, you know, obviously if it was live, you would have, even in the virtual world, you would have seen, you know, the comments come in while you were speaking. But don't worry, we'll you know, feed that back into you.
I will sneak out and do a few hellos on the chat. Don't tell, right? Don't snitch on me. What are you doing in that bathroom? Nothing, darling. No snitching. All right, thank you, guys. Are we good for today?
Yes, Steve, all good.
Okay, so
Thanks
we're
a
good.
lot. Thank you.